Welcome to episode 93 of the Cycling Europe podcast. My name is Andrew Sykes, and today I'm in the English Lake District and I'm approaching Eskdale down a narrow steep hill. I've just driven over from home in West Yorkshire, and last night at the school where I work it was the annual open day, and the bosses decided to give us the day off today. Well, decided to have a training day that they spread along the year, so it means that we don't have to go to work today. Now, this year I am not working on a Monday, which means I've got a 4-day weekend, and rather than just spend my day at home or spend my long weekend at home, I decided I would go on a little adventure, and I've booked myself into a camping pod at the National Trust campsite in Eskdale. Now, I did a similar kind of thing at the National Trust campsite at Windermere, or on the shores of Windermere, in June. Stayed there for 2 nights. This time I'm going to be 3 nights. I've been praying that the weather is going to hold, and it looks as though it is, although it's a bit wet this afternoon driving down. But hey, it is the middle of October, so can't expect blue skies and sunshine. Well, you can hope for them, but probably not going to happen. But it does look dry for tomorrow, Saturday, and for Sunday as well. Now, I've got the bike on the back of the car, the Ribble titanium, CGR titanium that I bought earlier this year, and the plan is tomorrow to go on a ride which will include the Hard Knott Pass, and then on Sunday to go on a ride that will include Wasdale. And I've got a sneaking suspicion that the road that I'm on at the moment, which is heading quite steeply down a beautiful valley, lots of brown fern on either side of the road, rocky steep hills on either side, I've got a feeling the route I'm going to follow tomorrow is going to come back up this road and then head over to the eastern side of the Hard Knott Pass before I do the hard work of climbing. Coming up here will not be, well, it'll be a strenuous climb as well, but that's the plan. So I think I'm about 1.5 miles away from the campsite. Oh, and tomorrow morning I'm going to be doing the park run. There's a park run down at Muncaster Castle, so I'm going to head down and do that before I head off on my ride into the hills. And I've arrived at the Eskdale National Trust campsite. It looks fairly quiet. Nice drive leading up to a few buildings. A couple of cars. A couple of, well, I suppose camper vans. This is where people stay, but they're all empty. Perhaps they'll fill up this weekend. And there are the pods. I can see the pods. Perhaps I'm going to be the only one in them. Who knows? I've gone for a furnished pod, which kind of sounds quite grand, but it isn't furnished that much. It's a bit more furnished than the one I stayed in on the shores of Windermere, which basically had 2 benches. It's a bit more than that, but not massive more. But they look alright. This is a nice setting. Some people there sitting outside their camper van. Oh, there's a few more camper vans. There's probably about, I don't know, a dozen. Right. And the reception looks as though it's open. I'll go and check in. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah, not too bad, thank you. You're just checking in? I am. I booked into one of the pods over there.
What's the surname?
Sykes, S-Y-K-S.
Oh, Andrew.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Number 7 pod.
Yeah.
Let's get your key.
Nice little setting.
First time here?
Yeah, I've stayed in one down at Lowray,
Hello, Ray, yeah.
but yeah.
First time over this way, is it?
Yeah, I've stayed at the campsite down in Wasdale as well, but that was with my tent rather than
That's
a pod.
I'm usually based at Wasdale, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's a nice site.
Yeah.
So you're staying for 3 nights?
Yeah, yeah.
You can go around and park. If you go around that corner there,
Yeah.
follow the road down,
Yeah.
there's a little car park at the bottom.
Okay.
You see the car park there?
Yep.
Yeah, number 7's over there somewhere.
Right, okay. I'll find it.
Yeah, I think it's sort of over that side.
Oh, right, okay,
Not
brilliant.
sure exactly. I'm mostly over Wasdale.
Right, okay. Yeah, it's have you got pods over at Wasdale?
Yeah.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
okay.
they have, yeah.
Yeah,
There's some new ones recently.
right.
There's a few new ones here.
Yeah, I'm kind of gradually moving away from my tent into using these,
Yeah.
especially at this time of the year.
Bit warmer,
Yeah, absolutely.
no wind,
No.
less noise as well.
Yeah,
The wind flapping on your tent.
yeah.
Need your energy for cycling, don't you? So when
Yeah.
you're awake all night.
Mind you, when I see a tent like that, I do think I could have saved myself 200 quid and just spent 30 quid camping for 3 nights. But
I guess so. Comfort though.
and the facilities, they're in
your
here.
showers and toilets are just on the right hand side.
Oh,
there,
right, yeah.
gents,
Okay, brilliant.
and there's a freezer at the back in the top room
All right. Are all the pods booked in this weekend?
there.
Are you busy?
I don't think they're all booked. There's a few booked.
Okay.
Got a lot of camper vans arriving today. So,
Yeah. Are you open all year round?
This will close in January and in February.
Right.
I think from November it'll be just weekends only. I think like Friday to Monday.
Right, okay. Right, all the pods are together. About 10 of them all together. And I'm in number 7. With a little village of them. Ooh, a little robin in front of me. And right, number 10. Oh, number 7. Right, okay. This is quite different from Lowray campsite. At Lowray they were very spread out and it was quite dense woodland. This is a lot more open but very nice. And right, number 7. Here we go. Like I said, it's a furnished one. Oh, that's alright. Oh, and it's heated. Oh my goodness, that is nice and warm. God, I could live in here. Yeah, very new as well. Doesn't look as though it's been here for very long. Nice little table, a couple of benches, a couple of stools to sit on. And yeah. Right, I could have a party in here. Right, okay, brilliant. I am very, very happy with the accommodation, especially if it stays this warm over the course of the weekend. Right, and I need to unpack, and it's only 3:45. I'm tempted to go on a little ride on the bike, perhaps not too far, but just in the local area. There is a pub down the road. Perhaps. So very friendly staff at the National Trust campsite, and I was speaking to the woman who was running the reception, and she said I should take a little late afternoon stroke bike ride down to the Esk, which is what I'm doing. I've turned left at the pub. I dare say I'll be back to the pub later. Apparently there's a church a bit further down this lane. Roughish track. I don't intend going very far at all this afternoon. but it'll be just interesting to see what's in the local area. Pray I don't get a puncture on this trip. When I was in the Lake District in June, first ride on the bike, I got a bloody puncture. But I didn't have all the equipment to mend it. Oh, a bit of a nightmare. Anyway, I have got all the equipment, but I hope I don't have to use them. Ooh, that is pretty. That's the church. Very low church. Not very big at all, but very, very pretty. Very pretty graveyard. It is St Catherine's Eskdale Parish Church. Welcome, the church is open. Well, might have to go inside. It's certainly a very well maintained church. To say there's no houses anywhere near, but I suppose it serves the whole of the valley. There's a distinctive red hue to all the stone. Some pretty sizable gravestones as well. Right. Church is protected by CCTV. Well, let's see if the door's open. And it is. Well, it's a fairly simple church inside. I have to say it's far more impressive from the outside than it is from the inn. I would imagine in the middle of winter, when it's howling a gale, snowing, raining, freezing cold, this might become a bit of a sanctuary. Right, nice and echoey. I can hear the Esk. It's over the other side of the churchyard wall, but it's definitely down there. So I'll plod on a little further. Well, I found the river. It's quite a wide little river, as little rivers go. It's quite a wide one, and there are some stepping stones. Now, the lady at the campsite did mention the stepping stones, but I'm not. The stepping stones are a bit too far apart for my liking, and I'm not going to risk heading over there, certainly with a bike on my shoulder. That looks a bit risky, and I think I might end up having an early bath if I do. However, you can head in the other direction, which takes you further along the valley. Now, it's a roughish path. In fact, it looks as though it's grassed over. I'm going to try it. I'm not sure whether the Ribble CGR titanium is up for it. But hey, CGR, it does stand for Cross Road Gravel. Have I got that in the right order? CGR, Cross Gravel Road, that's right. So, a grassy path shouldn't be too much of an issue, surely. Those are the sounds of making coffee on a campsite in the morning. One of the greatest sounds known to humans, as are the birds that you can probably hear. Now, I think it's rained overnight. It's pretty damp underfoot, and I did hear a few drops of rain on the pod last night. I eventually nodded off, but it was warm. I had to turn the heating completely off because otherwise it was becoming a bit like a sauna. Very quiet, a few people up. 3 of the pods, I think there are 10 of them altogether, but 3 of them are occupied, or were occupied last night. From what the chap said yesterday when I arrived, a few more are going to be occupied probably tonight. Tonight being Saturday, which makes sense. Right. Well, the plan for this morning is to head down to Muncaster Castle to do the park run. Once I've warmed up and had a bit of breakfast, and then return up here to the campsite, pick the bike up, and then head off into the hills. More sounds of coffee. There really is nothing to fault this campsite at all. I've just returned from the park run at Muncaster Castle and had a shower. That shower is better than the one I have back in my house back in West Yorkshire. This is just kind of perfect outdoor living. Anyway, Muncaster Castle park run, fantastic. Nice little castle-ish building at the end of the park run. You ran round a loop 3 times. Friendly bunch of people, quite an intimate affair. Only 60, 70 people there running, I think, and a bunch of friendly volunteers, including the Lord of the Manor himself, Sir something. And when you get to the bottom of the loop, at the other side of the castle, the other side of Muncaster Castle, you get an amazing view looking down the valley, down the Eskdale valley, all the way back to where I am now, back at the campsite. And yeah, so it's certainly one I would recommend. In fact, there's probably scope for a podcast series all about park runs. I would imagine somebody's been there already and done that. In fact, I would imagine there are lots of podcasts about park runs. This is a podcast about cycling, however, and just had a shower, like I said. I now need to get ready to head back over the hill that I came down yesterday on a figure of 8 loop, but only once rather than 3 times, not like the park run, which will bring me eventually back over the Hard Knott Pass in the direction of Eskdale. So that's the plan. The route I'm following today is one of Jack Thurston's in his Lost Lanes North. When I decided to come up here, I had forgotten that I'd bought the book earlier in the year, and I did follow a route down in South Yorkshire with a friend earlier in the summer, and then I mentioned it to somebody else, or I put it on Facebook, and somebody said, you could follow 2 of Jack Thurston's routes, and actually numbers 1 and 2 in the book, I think, are perfectly located for where I am staying at the Eskdale campsites, because basically they're very close. In fact, today's ride goes past the campsite, so perfect. And it's a figure of 8 loop, and I'm just beginning to climb out of the Eskdale valley, hence me being slightly out of breath because I'm in the wrong gear. I'm going to retrace my route, I think, from the cycle, or rather the car drive yesterday, and then the figure of 8 loop will bring me back to where I started. As I was attempting to say at the bottom of the hill, when I realised I was in the wrong gear and suddenly short of breath, I'm following Jack Thurston's routes today and tomorrow. This one's called Still Glides the Glen, I think. It's number 2 in the Lost Lanes North book. And I'm delighted to say I've made the top, I think I've made the top of the first hill, basically retracing what I drove down yesterday. And magnificent view of Scarfell Pike. I've climbed Scarfell Pike once, I think, and didn't get a very good view from the top because it was very, very cloudy. But today you can actually see the summit of Scarfell Pike. So if anybody's up there this morning, they've got a fabulous view down the Wasdale and Eskdale valleys. It is a magnificent sight, especially at this time of the year when everything's beginning to look a bit more barren and brown. Mind you, it's a fairly treeless landscape, I have to say. So, yeah, probably not that different, even in the middle of summer. A few minutes ago, I was thinking how much fitter I've become in the last 12 months. I did the couch to 5k in September, October of last year. Pinpointed a return to the park run for St Andrew's Day on the 30th of November. And I've been doing the park run ever since. And I lost a bit of weight. And I'm certainly a lot fitter. So it's ironic that within a few minutes of thinking those thoughts, I arrived at a big hill, and yes, I've got off and I'm pushing. It's actually the road I drove down yesterday as well. This figure of 8, I'm cycling it in the direction that you would if you drew a figure 8. So starting at the top and then heading anti-clockwise and then down onto the second loop clockwise before returning to the top loop anti-clockwise. Does that make any sense? Hopefully it does. And I'm now on the second loop, the one at the bottom, which of the two is the smaller one, and I'm just beginning now to circle that circle clockwise. Right, I've paused. Might get back on. That looks a bit less steep than it did before. This route, by the way, correction to what I said earlier, is not called what I said it was called. It is called Still Glides the Stream. I called it a glen before, but hey, it's not Scotland, so that made no sense. It's number 2 in Jack Thurston's book, Lost Lanes North. God, cracking view, beautiful. Don't know what valley this is. The one where the middle of the figure of 8 is. Only a few cars venture down this road, like me yesterday following the sat-nav. That said, here comes a car. They don't know I pushed. They think I'm just admiring the view. They'll see me in their rear view mirror, remounting and then powering up the hill. Ha! Deception. Sorry to keep banging on about this figure of 8 loop that I'm following, but I've now reached the bottom of the bottom loop, having started at the top of the top one, and halfway, well, according to Strava, 25 kilometres almost exactly, and the whole route is supposed to be 50 kilometres, so that works out quite well. Now, I did actually put the map on cycle.travel. I seem to remember I uploaded the GPS that you can access through Jack Thurston's book, and I put it on cycle.travel in preparation for coming here and following the route. Now, when I looked at it last night, it looked to me as if somebody had actually found it and changed the whole thing, because it had great sections missing and it kind of went in a different direction and goodness knows what. And I was a bit pissed off that somebody had done that. I did make it public, so, well, perhaps that's how cycle.travel works. I don't know the app well enough yet to say whether that's what's happened or not. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, because quite frankly the roads around here are few and far between, and it's pretty obvious which roads to follow. So actually, whoever did do the editing has done me a favour probably by making me just follow my nose and work it out for myself, which hasn't been very, very difficult. And I don't think it's going to be too tricky on the way back north in the direction of the Hard Knott Pass. I'm now recycling the bit of the route that I cycled earlier. It's the bit where basically the two circles meet. It's a nice flattish bit. The blue sky is, well, almost everywhere. A few bits of cloud, wispy clouds, but it's blue skies. Really very, very beautiful. Now, catching up on the fitness thing I mentioned earlier, along with getting a little bit fitter and losing a little bit of weight, I've bought some new clothes that fit me better, including clothes for cycling. And one thing that I've bought, which I've never bought before, because, well, it's an image thing more than anything, I think, are the bib shorts. But earlier this year I saw an advert on either Instagram or Facebook, and there were lots of good reviews for a company called Lusso, Manchester based company who make cycling gear. And I decided to buy some bib shorts. Now, the ones I bought earlier this year were well, they were indeed shorts. They were cut off above the knee, and my God, they are so comfortable, so comfortable. I'm used to riding and cycling with padded shorts and then pulling on a pair of shorts on top of them, or a pair of leggings in the winter. But the problem is you're constantly pulling them up because they're riding down your arse. And the beauty of the bib short is that they just stay in one place. It's like wearing padded shorts with braces, which is in effect what it is. Now, they weren't cheap. I daren't admit how much they were. It's like a lot of cycling stuff. It's better kept secret, the prices that you have to pay. But with winter approaching, went back to the Lusso website and ordered some winter, well, they're not bib shorts, are they, because they're now long tights. What are they called? Bib tights? But they're winter ones, and they're a little bit furry inside. And my goodness, if the summer ones were comfortable, these are just off the scale. And I'm wearing them now, and wow, am I a convert? Why did it take me all these years not to invest in bib shorts and bib tights? They are the future, and for many people they're the past as well. But I never noticed. Obviously, if you do lose a bit of weight, you look a bit less ridiculous in them. But nope, I'm a convert. Absolutely. The other thing I bought are some clipless shoes. And it's not the first time I've done this, but I have to say it's the first time I've actually continued using clipless shoes beyond a few weeks or a couple of months. They're a pair of white ones. They're lace up. They're a bit retro, but they are, again, very, very comfortable. And on this bike, this Ribble CGR titanium lightweight bike, they're just the job. So I do feel as though I've moved away from being dressed as a touring cyclist and spent much of the last few months dressed as a, dare I say, mammal. it's 3:20 on Saturday afternoon, and the motorcycles might be the clue. I've arrived at the Hard Knott Pass. In fact, I've started climbing it. 30%. I'd forgotten how steep it was. 30%. I can see it twisting ahead of me. There's a car struggling up. Now, I did drive up this a few years ago. Made a video about it. And the video itself, when it was on YouTube, it got linked to by, I think it was Countryfile magazine. I just suddenly noticed there was a spike in the number of people watching it. And yeah, the link came from Countryfile magazine. Now, I'm not videoing today, well, not continuously, but I'm just going to leave this recording for a few of my thoughts, probably out of breath thoughts, as I gradually climb to the pass itself. I've climbed many passes, quite a few of the ones in the Alps, the Gotthard Pass, the Furka Pass most recently, and a few of the minor ones as well. And somebody at work was asking me about cycling over the Alps a few weeks ago, and I said, well, the challenge of the Alps is not necessarily the steepness of the roads, it's just how long they are, because they go on forever, or seemingly. Now, the opposite is the case in Britain. In Britain, our hill passes, mountain passes, we don't really have mountains, do we? The challenge is not in the length of the pass, but in the steepness. So although they do twist from side to side, they do so on kind of a smaller scale. And I'm out of the seat for the first time. Will I get to the top without having to push? That is certainly very, very steep. Far steeper than when I decided to push earlier. Whew. Climbed Mont Ventoux in 2013. I was very proud of the fact I didn't step onto the ground at all. Not sure that's going to be the case here. I wonder how many cyclists have been up today. Oh. Right, time for my first break. The compensation obviously is the view, especially from the top looking back down to Eskdale. Not got there yet obviously, so I'll have to content myself with the view behind me when I stop like this. The sun is low in the sky. It's that time of year, I suppose. Oh, he just hit a rock. There you go, mate. That's what you get for cutting a corner on the Hard Knott Pass. Right, are we ready to go again? Steep bit going. It's a bit dicey as well with the cliffless shoes. You've got to unclip at the right moment otherwise, because you're going so slowly. And you're so much pressure on the foot, it's quite difficult to unclip. You've got to choose your moment, otherwise it could be slow scale embarrassment. At least there are a few people here to see if it does happen. Right, okay, I've caught my breath again. Onwards. One thing you can do is just zigzag backwards and forwards, kind of create your own mini switchback road. It's a good tactic, but it is a bit flawed if there's a car coming. Like there is now. Right. He's going to have to wait, I'm afraid, because there's no way I'm letting anybody past while I'm on this steep bit. My God. And yikes, that is steep.
Well done, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Get a beer when you get to the other side.
Stop number 2. The road is not in brilliant condition, as you might imagine. Although it does look as though it's been resurfaced since I was last here in the car. Must be a struggle, basically, when you've got a road which is just wanting to slip down the side of a very steep hill. There's a Roman fort on the other side. I wonder why they chose to build it there. I wonder if they had a road coming up here. I wonder if this is a Roman road. Mind you, it's not that straight. Oh, the view behind is just wow. Whew. The valley behind me, whose name remains unknown to me, I'll have to look it up later, is one of those valleys where there's very little going on at the bottom. There was just a single track road for most of the way down to where the Hard Knott Pass starts. Just a few isolated farms and the river. No major road, no train line. Right, enough waffle, Andrew. Part 3. There's a deceptively enticing brow up there, but that ain't the top, I don't think. Right, here we go. Handily placed Land Rover to lean on while those 2 cars and 2 motorcycles passed. There's a pub between the top of the pass and the campsite. The one I went to last night, the Boot Inn, is the other side. It's going to be very, very difficult not stopping to have a celebratory pint at that pub before the campsite. In fact, if you don't drink beer, and many people don't, how do you keep going on a road like this? The end of ride pint is a joyous thing. A glass of orange juice really doesn't do it. Right, there's another deceptive brow ahead. I'm pretty sure that's not the top. Although we are approaching the top. Somebody once told me about, I think it was in the context of hill walking, but the same applies for cycling. When you're going up a hill, if you look at the hills around you, if they're not above where you're aiming for, the chances are you're somewhere near the top. Ooh, I think I might be there actually. Is this the highest point? Or is there more to come around that corner? I'm going down now. Have I done it? There's usually a few cars and things gathered. There's a sheep on the hill above me. Let's let this car pass. I think I might have done it. There's not much there, just a ridge of the hill, and then it starts going down. It's the other extreme from the what you tend to find in the Alps. Some of the passes, some of the col are ridiculous. You get to the top and it's like a circus. That was certainly the case with the Hard Knott Pass. But if you're a cyclist, you do feel as though you've earned whatever there is on offer if you pay for it. Right, I'm at the top. I've done it. Thank you, sheep. I've climbed the Hard Knott Pass. Just as steep as I imagined it was, but mercifully a bit shorter, and I did it in about half an hour. No, less than half an hour. 22 minutes. Well, that's not too bad. Yeah, you should be impressed, sheep. Now the view ahead of me is down Eskdale, and it's beautiful. Sunny day, a bit misty in the distance. I can see what I assume to be Morecambe Bay in the distance. Wow. That is a reward and a half for a good, strenuous day of cycling. Next stop, the pub. You forget how difficult it can be actually coming down a really steep hill in terms of keeping the brakes on all the time and the aching hands and arms. But breaking news, I've arrived at the pub, the Woolpack Inn, and it's open and people are sitting in the garden in the sun, which is where I'm about to go and sit. Hiya, is that the only Hampel beer you've got on?
It is at the moment. I need to clean some wine.
Okay, I'll just have a pint of that then, please. Thank you. Thank you.
There you go, enjoy.
Thank you. Cheers. Hi.
Is it you with the cappuccino
It
and
is.
the biscuit cake?
Oh God, that looks good. Wow. I might become a vegan if that's what they eat. Brilliant.
Enjoy.
Wow, thank you. That cappuccino and cake was basically medicine for having very cold hands. It's now Sunday morning and I've cycled about 10 kilometres to the end of Wasdale. Now the difference between yesterday and today is that it's decidedly cold. the mist is still hanging on most of the mountains on either side as I make my way into Wasdale. That said, yesterday I did do the park run and I didn't start cycling until, well, about 11ish. It's now, well, it is now 11, and it is pretty chilly. Morning. Morning. The route I'm following today is another one from Jack Thurston's Lost Lanes North. In fact, it's number 3, and it's called Mountains High. Now that's a bit of a deceptive name because in terms of climbing, well, there's about half as much climbing as there was yesterday. I think the reference to Mountains High is the fact that you're in the thick of it in terms of seeing the mountains. Obviously, at one end of Wasdale, you've got Sykes Pike. Although, if it stays like it is now, I doubt whether I'll actually see it. Basically, the route goes along Wasdale in the direction of Wasdale Head, which is a dead end, unless you want to start scrambling up the hills. And then it turns around, comes back down Wasdale, but at some point turns off to the right, heads towards the coast, and then down to Ravenglass. And then at Ravenglass it just comes back to where it started. But for that portion of the ride, I won't be cycling. What I'll be doing is jumping on the little tourist train that runs between Ravenglass and Boot, which is very handily right next door to the National Trust campsite in Eskdale. Now I booked a ticket on that, booked a ticket a few weeks ago along with the bike, so I've got to be in Ravenglass, well, at the very latest just before 3 p.m. So I've got 4 hours to get down Wasdale back and down to Ravenglass, which should be okay. The weather forecast was looking very promising, and I am desperate for the sun to start burning through those clouds and the mist, because although there's blood and circulation back in my fingers now, and they're feeling nice and tingly and, dare I say, warm, that won't last forever. I've yet to see Water. I've stayed down here before. There's a National Trust campsite further down, and I stayed there a few years ago. In fact, I've stayed there twice. The last time with a friend, where our plan was to hike up Sykes Pike, but we never managed it because the weather was just a bit horrible. So we went on an ill-fated trek round Water. Ill-fated because there are just scree slopes on the other side, and it was very wet, and it was pretty treacherous clambering across all these rocks. It took us ages. I did wonder whether we'd end up in Water itself, and Water is not a place to find yourself because Sykes Pike above it is England's highest mountain, and Water is England's deepest lake. Not a place to fall into from a scree slope. Anyway, none of that today. And I think it is warming up slightly. Right, I better get to Wasdale Head. Well, I've arrived at Water, stretching out in front of me, and those scree slopes. Yeah, how the hell did we manage to get from one end of there to the other? But we did. We must have been crazy. Perilous. Anyway, I survived to tell the tale. In the distance, well, you can't see Scafell Pike. It is just covered in mist, cloud. Hopefully it will lift at some point. In the far distance is the National Trust campsite, and beyond that, the pub at Wasdale Head. Bit early for a beer, but if they do coffees, I'll probably have another one, because I would imagine by then my fingers will have frozen again. It's a beautiful road, just winding off into the distance. Reminds me of being on the Outer Hebrides on that golden road on the east side of Harris. It's that kind of landscape, just a bit unearthly from another place. They've probably filmed old episodes of Doctor Who here, I would imagine, albeit probably without the motorhomes. Well, I've arrived at Wasdale Head Inn. Not sure how much further you can go. There's a little road that continues, but I think it comes to a dead end in a few moments. A couple of marquees up. I think the annual show has just happened. Yep. Looks as though they're carrying that Portaloo away rather than setting it up. Perhaps it was yesterday. Yeah, this is a farm, and this is about as far as you can go. So I'm going to turn round. There's a little shop opposite the pub. May pop in there just to well, warm up a little bit. So there we go, I'm turning round. Ugh, tight corner. And back to where I started. The road down here is such a fun road to cycle along. It's up and down, up and down, up and down, kind of on these little corners. It's like a cycling equivalent of a roller coaster. The only difference is you don't have to put up with stupid drivers, and there have been a few of those this morning, speeding past, too close. Anyway, they'll never know the joys of being on two wheels. Ooh. Morning. Oh. Mainly coming for a bit of warmth.
Yes,
It's chilly.
that low cloud, isn't it? Apparently it's sunny on Styhead.
Well, the forecast is for sun, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's there. We're just underneath it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, you do coffee, don't you? Yes.
Yes, I can do an instant coffee.
Hot chocolate. I don't want any cash on me. Can I pay by card?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, can I have a hot chocolate?
Yes, did you want it in a proper mug to sit outside?
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Yeah, just to heat my hands up as well.
Marshmallows on top.
Oh yes, thank you. And I'll go for some Kendal mint cake. I didn't know you could get different types. Do you actually live up here?
No, I live down in Gosford.
Right. Presumably it's not possible to go any further than the farm, just up here?
No, I mean you can only walk beyond.
Yeah.
So where do you cycle from?
Eskdale. I'm staying at the camps at the National Trust place down there.
Yeah.
So down here, back again,
Yes.
down to Ravenglass, and then I'm going to jump on the train
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
to go back to Boot, which is next door to the campsite.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. I've just got to make sure I'm in Ravenglass by 3 o'clock.
There we
Brilliant.
go, and that
Oh.
as well, so that's 340 altogether. Yep, that's great. Thank
Okay,
you.
perfect. I'll bring the mug back in a few
Brilliant.
minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, a mug of hot chocolate with marshmallows on top. A free little biscuit and some Kendal mint cake at the end of Wasdale. What more could you want? Yesterday, descending from the Hard Knott Pass on the western side of the mountain, although the views were great, I think I mentioned, quite painful on the hands because you're having to brake when the hills reach 30% and you're going down them. It's challenging, just on a different part of the body. Your hands and your arms in complete contrast. About 20 minutes ago I left Wasdale and started climbing, contouring really, in the direction of a place called Gosforth, and then at the top of the climb it was just perfect descent conditions. Quiet, good surface road, wide, a few twists but nothing too severe, really picking up a bit of speed, and just like the bumps and the twists and the turns on Wasdale are good fun to cycle on. So was what I was doing in the last 15-20 minutes. Speed downhill, very little braking. In fact, I was chasing somebody in a car until they zoomed off at speed. I think if yesterday was to be summed up as awe-inspiring in terms of the views and the valleys, today's turned out just to be quite a bit of fun. Marshmallows, hot chocolate, nice roads to cycle on, fun roads to cycle on, and now descending down to the coast where I'm going to take a little train. And another hill approaches, 14% this one. Let's see if we can pick up speed here. Time is beginning to play on my mind a little bit. It is now 1 o'clock, so I've got 2 hours to get to Ravenglass. Hope I arrive on time. Oh, this is a bit steeper than before, so the brakes are on, but still picking up a fair bit of speed. And I've arrived in Gosforth. Between Gosforth and Seascale on the coast, although it's a main road, there's a really nice cycle path heading gradually downhill. Pick up a nice bit of speed on there as well, and it kept you off the road obviously until you got to Seascale, which well, the contrast between the beauty of the Cumbrian Fells, the Lake District, and Seascale on the coast is pretty stark. Quite a rundown community, lots of drab buildings. It may be on the coast, but this is no seaside resort, although there are a few businesses eking out their trade. Ice cream parlour, a few people hiding inside. I suppose it's difficult generating much tourist trade when you're only a couple of miles away from Europe's leading nuclear reprocessing plant at Sellafield. I did see the chimneys poking out from beyond the hill, but I didn't venture down the road. There are a few foreboding signs saying no stopping on this road. It's a bit of an eerie place. Isolated, mysterious to a certain extent, secretive. But travelling is all about contrast, isn't it? So just crossing the railway line. As is another cyclist who ignored me. But that's not the railway line I'm taking, that's the railway line along the coast, the main line. I'm taking the private steam train, albeit a miniature one. Now Google reckons 30 minutes to get to Ravenglass. There's only one route to go, so Jack Thurston's route coincides precisely with the one that Google Maps comes up with. So, without wanting to tempt fate, there's no way I can get lost. Surely.
Are you a cyclist?
I am, yeah.
Are you going all the way to the end?
I am, yeah.
That's fine.
I was hoping to get into one of the out where I could sit.
You probably can. If there's no view there, then you probably can. Is the short answer.
Okay, brilliant.
We don't quite know what's booked, so there's always a chance somebody might have booked it. But if there isn't, then you're all right.
So if I go in that one over there?
Yeah, and if somebody comes with that ticket, you might have to move. But if not, you're all right.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Oh, well, that was an experience. Chilly, but yeah, the bike was in one carriage, I was in another. Well, the day is ending as it started, with me with absolutely frozen fingers. So my next stop is going to be the pub that I visited on Friday evening, not just because it sells beer, but also because it had a cracking fire, and if I can position myself in front of it, I should warm up pretty quickly. So, the boot in, here I come. And the sun is out. In fact, for the first time today, I got blue sky. It even feels a little bit warm, although it's not having the desired effect on my fingers. That requires a pub with an open fire. Now there is a mill up here, a flour mill, but unfortunately it closes at 4 o'clock and it's now 15:53, so I think 7 minutes is enough time to actually visit a mill, especially when you've got to pay to get in. So another reason why I'm forced to go to the pub immediately. Here it is, the boot in. Oh, sorry.
There you come through, I'll be alright, thank you. There you go.
Oh yeah. Oh God, it's warm in here. Just what I need. Heat. Can I have a pint of Cumbrian ware, please?
Yeah.
Cumbria ware, sorry.
Yeah, that's everything.
Can I have some crisps as well?
What flavor would you like?
I'll go.
Cheese and onion, salt and vinegar, sweet chili, or ham and mustard.
Ooh, ham and mustard, that sounds nice.
It's a bit spicy if you're okay with it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah?
Thank you.